Hi, this is your boy Terry. My username across the internet is surpassing Google, and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a short video because I'm ill, I'm not physically fit, and I may be disoriented in my thoughts. So let's keep it short. It's a very simple video, revealing some more knowledge from the curriculum of legitimate literacy. I'm a legitimate illiteracy, by the way. And I think this knowledge is important for human evolution, for breakthrough in human, for world adjustment. Knowledge by world standards is partial knowledge. It contains mostly knowledge in the books, knowledge from outer space. It needs to be complemented with knowledge contained in the notebooks, derived from the down-to-earth spaces of Mama Earth. For knowledge to be made whole, decentralized, available to anyone, and less complex. This is not the case. What the world knows most of is knowledge contained in the books. The world is still very novice to the complexest tenets of real life. I'll just wait for that airplane. I apologize for the external noises. I'll leave here at the airport, and this is unavoidable. So, besides knowledge, the world tends to hype knowledge too much, especially with regards to human evolution. Entire livelihoods are surrounded around pursuit of knowledge. According to today's world, knowledge is power, which is true. But there are other aspects to human evolution that needs to be evolved as well for balance sake. And this is something that's missing in the world. There are very many other tenets of humans that's undocumented in the books. The knowledge tangible for this particular type of evolution is not documented. It's in the down-to-earth spaces of Mama Earth, which is labeled nonsense by world standards. In overallity, if you are to sift of nonsense, you will find sense therein. Of the most complexest mathematics equation, if you simply add in some English, it suddenly becomes non-equation. Most answers are said to be in the nth complexest solutions. However, many answers lie in the first simplest obviousest solutions. And these days, where intel lies in the hands of the legitimate illiterate. I see many people trying to evolve blockchain technology. It's one of the best technologies there is, no doubt. But it's not for even the creators and inventors of blockchain to identify the beauty or the extent of the beauty of blockchain. I'm telling you, that lies in the hands of the users, and to more grand measures in the hands of the illiterates, the so-called illiterates of the world, the legitimate illiterates. Now, there's illiterates, as so-called, but there's legitimate illiteracy, adding context. We won't go into that. I've been looking at blockchain recently, and it's beginning to fade in reality. And I predict that there's a possibility that it fades. Even in the expanse of its beauty, there's a possibility that it never ranks great as a technology. But there's a possibility to sway matters that this doesn't become the case. And for this role to occur, there needs to be a revelation of legitimate literacy pertinent to the evolution of blockchain. What I'm saying is very easy, and you will get the gist. Now, looking at blockchain, there's so much history when it comes to the transformation of blockchain from Bitcoin proof of work. People were not satisfied. It became a competition of hash power or something like that. I'm an illiterate. I don't know much of the technical terms, but it doesn't involve community or too much of a social aspect. It's competition between machines. So it brought about something that is perceived to be a more democratic way of governance. The world is so much about governance, when in reality, it's easy to see, even by legitimate illiteracy, that man cannot rule man. But let's put that aside. So, people sought after a better or an enhanced governance model, according to what is popular. I'm just waiting for that airplane. And a transition began to happen. We began to have proof of stake, proof of tiers, proof of concept. Proof of tiers is something I created, but that's an entirely different discussion. My memory is short. Proof of stake, proof of work, that's Bitcoin. Anyway, there was a transition to a variety, some hybrid blockchain model. So Ethereum did so. I can't remember what Ethereum is. Let's see. I don't think Ethereum is proof of stake. My memory is short. But there's been a shift. Then Steam came about using proof of stake. But there are other dynamics underlying when it comes to the proof of stake of Steam. You know, but this is not something we're going to discuss. Right now. We are just trying to build on the transition, the evolution of blockchain since proof of work by Bitcoin. Then we have Tron. We have EOS. Trying to create a hybrid of between proof of stake and proof of work, something like that. EOS uses a proof of stake, method, but wants to add a very social aspect, that involves KYC with a recent voice application. Now, there is evidence that a peak has not been reached or a cap has not been reached when it comes to evolution. There's an evidence of dissatisfaction in the blockchain model that exists and a desire for aspirations towards newer models. Now, is the current blockchain, even the best of them, flawless? People, you know, entertain the notion that it's possible to create a flawless blockchain. One that practically fixes humans. The world thinks that there are issues with humanity, with the state of the world, and many undertake the route of, abating some of these issues, creating comfort. Now, this is not in every case. People have different reasons for undertaking blockchain technology. Some are just in pursuit of excellence. Some are wanting, underlyingly wanting more monopoly or ownership of the world. Some are in a state of exploration, wanting to, mine data from the world's reaction to stimuli, may create a blockchain to create a bot, draw data, collect it, and further evolve something new, maybe AI technology. There is a paint, there is a blur, a paint around the world. The world of today is a painted world, and a painted world is an unreal world. But let's not digress. So we have established some things. Blockchain requires evolution. People are dissatisfied with the current state of blockchain, are dissatisfied with the governance model surrounding blockchain, and practically are looking for new highs when it comes to governance, when it comes to man ruling man. When, like I reiterated earlier, even a legitimate illiterist knows that man cannot rule man. It's simple. It's even a biblical statement, but these things are very obvious. Men aren't created for such. Now there is leadership that agreed, but now how about measure of leadership by today's standards? Bringing us back, measure of leadership by today's standards may involve monopolization of knowledge. Like I said, according to today's world, is knowledge is power, and that brings about labels, literacy, illiteracy, and then a buzz staring human tension, where one becomes the standard maybe complex knowledge, and everyone sought it to reverse it. It begins to embrace the narrative that so-called literacy by world standards is nonsense. However, like I said, according to illegitimate literature, you can sift of nonsense to find sense therein. Dirt is good, ask the soap master. In the face of the not so good, especially in relation to humans, you can find testimonial use for good. These are dynamics surrounding legitimate literacy that is not applicable in today's world, hence isn't so applicable in the evolution of blockchain. When it comes to the evolution of blockchain, regardless of your tech knowledge, your geek knowledge, your outer space knowledge, you're limited in your perception with regards to taking cognizance of the entire globe when it comes to the evolution of your project model or blockchain model. Why so? Because there's an entire expanse of locations, of populace that are in the down to earth spaces of Mama Earth, not in outer space. People say tunnels, that tunnels exist. Let's assume that is true. There are people in tunnels, needing of light right there inside the tunnels, but the narrative is wait till the end of the tunnel to find light. Whereas a legitimate illiterate will tell you, evolve of yourself, tap into your shine, emit your particular light, may it enter right inside tunnels, so that not any longer does any have to wait till the tunnel to find light, for there is light therein. Now, you may not see this as powerful stuff, but please open your mind's eye. Listen to the underlying, listen to my undertone, apply other aspects of your human to listen to me, your spirit, your being, to connect with me on these levels. To do so, you may need to have evolved other aspects of your human besides knowledge. Knowledge is not everything. Knowledge is only truly powerful where other virtues of humans is fully evolved, else knowledge will ever remain partial knowledge. Now, let's proceed. We spoke of labels. By world standards, nations are big deals, entire barriers put in place to curb humans or limit humans practically. And in these nations, our entire curriculum posed to keep humans in a cycle of hand-to-mouthism and half-humanism. Where few have knowledge and so-called power and the others sought it as clients. Where some create the product and the other remain in a cycle of sorting after this product. Now, this is established, else blockchain technology will not even come into the picture. People are dissatisfied with the cycle of hand-to-mouthism and half-humanism, whether consciously or obliviously, and are looking to remove this barrier, hence the evolution of blockchain, amongst other reasons, primary reasons for blockchain, like preventing censorship, but it all boils down to the same thing: governance, monopoly of power, and all that. But let's look at things critically. Now, the world likes labels. Labels everything. This is good for business. This is good for sustaining tension, rift among humans. It's good for removing value from humans and shifting value to inanimate, superficial things so that humans stay in tension and pursue those things. It's good. Where you label things black and white, people want to identify with different labels. And then tension exists, and that tension stays in a cycle. And now there are tons of labels beyond black or white, even genders. Some people are bringing up to 100 genders altogether. Where the world is headed is scary, but it's fixable to a large extent if we're conscious to this thing. So the next time we walk the streets, let's look at the world with new eyes. Next time we use the Steam blockchain, the Tron blockchain, let's pay attention to the true state of the world. That is one powerful use for blockchain that is unknown or unhighlighted, even by the creators of blockchain, that needs to be understudied. According to legitimate illiteracy, legitimate illiteracy sees this, will see these aspects. Especially when you complement your legitimate literacy knowledge with the existing knowledge of world legitimate literacy, as it's called. You're able to have balanced knowledge, so you can see many more things. So now let's assume you remove the labels: developed, developing, third world country. Imagine humans being called third world country. Now that aside, but will will establishing this affect the evolution of your project model? Will it limit it? The answer is yes. The barriers are already there. This is just literal already. You put developed, developing. Where is your blockchain being created? Let's say USA. Many of the blockchains stem from USA or the West. Okay. Now, are you able to take cognizance of the dynamics of affairs in every location? Where nations are a big deal. According to a legitimate illiterate, nations are merely locations. Once you see, apply that mindset, then we're just touching one aspect. You have no barriers to the evolution of your project model. You will take cognizance of billions in humans, courtesy of their humans, regardless of their IP location, regardless of their location. One beautiful thing blockchain did is remove the location barrier. But what do humans know? Humans are coming on blockchain and putting back the barrier. Blockchain as a tech is ordinary. It will not attain unordinariness except the humans that use it begin to evolve, applying blockchain as a tool to evolve in their human, tap into their shine. Then blockchain will begin to attain its own, maybe almost flawlessness. Altogether, there's going to be no flawless blockchain, which is another error or something that can be looked into by creators of blockchain. There is no flawless blockchain. Blockchain is nothing. Has value courtesy of the humans that it hosts. It's practically nothing. So it's high time we stop looking at blockchain like the solution bringer. Blockchain can do nothing without our own evolution. It will just become an ordinary tech and it will fade like text before it. But it is a beautiful technology where the context of its beauty is identified and it is used, to every measure in alignment with the extent of its beauty. Blockchain is very beautiful. Imagine knowledge that is said to be power put in the hands of everyone through decentralization. Servers in anonymous location that is immutable, indestructible, and everyone can access a copy too. That's the power of Facebook, Google over fellow humans, governments. What is their power? Knowledge. Knowledge about you more than you know anything of them. So they become the standards and you cannot hold them accountable. They set the laws. You cannot hold them accountable in return because you know nothing about them. But they take it a notch further. They take of your value, your spiritual elements. They decipher it, understudy it, and that shine, they put it in an entire bucket with the shine of the rest of the world, and they can influence you. Remove all your value, put it in inanimate, superficial things, and sell it to you. Put cookies in your browser, then you are able to you browse in the comforts of your home where you are your inner self without being wary of your surroundings. You're not an act, and they take this information which you emit obliviously, without even giving it value yourself. You just donate it, and they love it, they process it, and they use it to influence you. So it does tell you that knowledge is power. And it does tell you, according to legitimate literacy, everyone has knowledge innate to them that is tangible for evolution in human. Only you can reveal that knowledge, but that knowledge has to be tapped by you. So are you going to pursue happiness like the world says, or are you going to tap into other aspects of you that are uncelebrated by world standards? Do the grind, do the sorrow, do the discomforts, cry the teardrops, seeing teardrops as an emblem of human, as a byproduct of breakthrough, as a byproduct of evolving your human towards its awesomest version. Are you going to undertake that route or follow people into outer space is the question. It's an unpopular route. It's a very hard route, yet a very testimonial route, because then your own shine, you know, which contains in it particular information necessary for the collective evolution of the world, will come to limelight. So back to blockchain technology, and this applies to technology as a whole, applies to every business, where you complement whatever knowledge you have with legitimate illiteracy, you are on your own route. Because legitimate illiteracy is innate knowledge to you. Only you can reveal this knowledge. Only you can tap into this knowledge. No competition. Then things like competition that appears to create rift and tension in today's world become illusionary at best. The ironies that permeate and control this world will become ordinary. When you have seen many things become ordinary. But what I'm saying, legitimate illiteracy needs a lot of digging, needs the application of your spirit. You have to translate sorrows and find testimonial use for good in the face of sorrows. These are, I apologize, I'm going through too much pain. Now, back to blockchain technology. Yes, there's a lot of barriers to its evolution. The world just rigmaroles around and they can't find solutions. That is very obvious, to me as a legitimate illiteracy almost instantly. Recently I saw, some, for example, people leave the Steam blockchain. They want to create their own blockchain, go and create wheelchairs, adjust the dynamics a bit, dissatisfied with the Steam blockchain and all of that. Come talk about Steam, the Steam company having pre-mined some of the tokens, before the start of the platform. In the real world, that's affordable. Many things are forgivable. When you have done time, many things are forgivable. But does the world know these things about life? Does the world know that these complexes tenets apply in real life? So how can they evolve blockchain and integrate it with dynamics and paradigms applicable in real life, a real life that they don't know about? You cannot know about these complexes tenets because you have to experience it. It's not in any media, it's not documented in books. Words aren't sufficient enough. Words don't have context enough to describe these things. It's just like the pain I'm going through now. Can I describe it? If I go to a doctor, words are just insufficient, and doctors will say, "Oh, Terry, nothing is wrong with you." But I'm dying, I'm in rubble. Only if you have undertaken the down-to-earth route will you understand the extent of my suffering. Even my sisters don't know of my suffering, don't believe it. It's hard to explain until one dies. We will not die. I'm just trying to build on the topic. A laptop, for example, most of the laptops, for example, they don't have light on the keypad. Is it known that there are many places around the world? Of course it's known, but how much highlight is given to those things as of things of importance? There are many places there is darkness, and can you see darkness for what is it? Can you see beauty in darkness, or do you quickly label it, oh, those are third world countries? And how can you build a technology that will consider this expensive populace, and create a laptop that has lights reflecting on the keypad so that people can type, on battery life when there is no power, I mean, so I'm talking of technology in general, I'm talking of business in general. When you create blockchain in a bid to primarily distribute rewards After having established your facts that the problem with the world is poverty, reward distribution. Some countries are developing, some countries are developed, some countries are. Then how can you build a model that caters to each human? You create a disparity and evolve your blockchain to satisfy that disparity. Where, okay, humans, because, oh, this person has $70 million, it doesn't require to be given any dime again. He's too big for money. Then the other people, both ways are countered. Now you start to go through extreme measures, wanting to solve the poverty, bring solution to the so-called poverty that you have said is the issue. But is poverty really the issue when you look at the true state of the world? Or is that overly hyped? Is it that the real issue with the world is loss of shine? Perhaps half humanism, perhaps hand to mouthism. Is a human created in the image of the creator truly capable of exhibiting poverty? And the outright answer is no. With brains powerful than supercomputer, to have in subjection the fishes of the sea, the flying creatures of the heavens, privileged to be created in the image of the creator, how can you exhibit poverty? Or is it that humans have begun to lose value by world standards, value given to inanimate things like money? Is it that humans never evolve into full-blown humanhood, to where money becomes the smaller things, to where humans can exhaust humanly possible actions and not put every excuse on lack of money? Because if you feel like a full-blown human, even if you're wearing rags, you may take the step of entering a Ferrari store and asking the price of the Ferrari that you want. It all starts there. And who said that a Ferrari seller who sees value in you, courtesy of your human, because he is evolved and is a testimony to the greatness in human, will not give you a Ferrari because of his conviction in your potential, just courtesy of your abilities as an evolved human? Who says? But in today's world, we will not exhaust those humanly possible options, the first, simplest, obvious solutions, because by world standards, we have to pursue outer space, climb a career ladder for the sake of hand-to-mouthism, work for 100 years, then spend 10 years looking for pension, and climb ladder, be about yourself. Someone slaps you, bring a gun. Humans of today are not even evolved to cater to as simple as de-escalating very simple issues. Resort to entire. There are human laws. There are down-to-earth laws that exist without any documentation. Innate to each human. At childbirth, as children, everybody has a sense of justice, a sense of self-sacrifice, a sense of curiosity. How did humans lose these things? Once they enter into teenagehood and war stuff, when they become adults, this is so much knowledge that is unknown to the world. Look at the search engines. Now we're digressing. I'm just trying to cover all spectrums. Search engines. How can you create a search engine that enables each human, give each human value, the ability to have some limelight, the ability to rank on the first page of Google, when the world standards measurement of value in human is clout, money, location. We are talking location. IP location is a big factor. You have an audience in USA, you cannot reach that audience because Google's algorithm says that a measure of relevance is IP location, which in fact is true. But is it true in the world, for the world at large? Isn't there an audience that is aspiring, seeking venture capitalism anywhere around the globe and is reaching out to the world, dreaming and climbing all mountains of gods to dream, and and it's told, turns to the internet feeling that it's an inanimate object, that is going to have an equal playing field, and go there and only to be told to scram off from the internet because of its location, How about a Mark Zuckerberg that may throw a bird at you and suck you out of whatever dream you are trying to keep alive, because you have managed to contact someone, even out of sincerity, not for the intent to spam or whatever, and you try to reach out to a venture capitalist who is a random person on Facebook and YouTube. Facebook cancels your account. You create a new page, related to your dream just to keep your dreams alive. And Facebook automatically thinks that, oh, you're a spammer, you want to reap this platform, because they say that you're developing. They can't establish in their minds that it's possible that you can give lorry loads of money to someone who is in hustle states, and at a very timely time, he will reject that money, or that in these places, so-called places that are labeled developed, money can constitute the smaller things. People can exchange a Ferrari for your shirt, because other factors are at play, like the value of the human, the potential of the human, the spirit of the human. Did you know that in certain places, people can just give you a handshake and know that you're going places in the near future? You will be Obama or Bill Gates, and then give you a Ferrari with hopes that you remember them, or even just with hopes that they are rewarded. Their reward is in heaven by the Creator Jehovah. Do we know of these things? So how can you evolve a blockchain that will cater to myriads of humans, the world at large? Or how can you create a search engine that will cater to each human, giving them value courtesy of their human? How will a Kim Kardashian not rank for eternity on the likes of Google? I created a form of content called ULOGs for the sake of removing barriers to entry. It is something that considers anyone, because I do have knowledge of legitimate literacy in conjunction with knowledge that exists in the world. And that's why I'm revealing this knowledge. If you want to talk to me regarding your project, I can help you. I'm here to be your true friend, your boy Terry, and that's something that I can offer to you, as my gift to you. Is it known that rewards, cover a variety of things beyond just money? Or is money what blockchain is built about? Okay, distribute rewards. How about rewards? Is that not constituting of a large spectrum of items? Yeah, sometimes not even items. A prayer can be a reward. A warm handshake can be a reward. A shout out can be a reward. You know, validation, establishing your reputation, your reputation can be a reward. There are tons of reward. Are we exploring this using blockchain as a tool? That's the way blockchain will find its own shine and rank as a great technology. Or are we using blockchain simply in a bid to distribute rewards? Because, oh, the problem with the world is poverty. No, not a soul is capable truly of exhibiting poverty. I don't have a dime, I don't want to tell you my condition. I don't have a dime. But you give me lorry loads of money, yours, to keep it. I'll keep it for you. No questions asked. No, your money will be intact. And if you come here in a Ferrari, you will not move me as bigger than a human. And I'm a legitimate illiterate. So, for you to evolve blockchain, you have to dispel some of the barriers, preemptively put in existence in the world. You have to shed some of the nation. Even the Bible says there's a large context to that, but you may not see that context, over a wide spectrum of scenarios, because perception is limited too. There are barriers in place to your perception. Jesus said we are no part of the world. While you can look at it only in terms of politics, it's bigger things than that when it comes to the context of that, the weight of that sentence. It can also be the ever missing piece of your puzzle when it comes to the evolution of your project model. I say shed some of the nation. In fact, shed off all of the nations, where nations are merely locations. And speaking with testimony, I came out without influence from nation. This enabled me to see a lot of things, even with my presence in particular nations. you know, a lot more things, without the limitations, the barriers, the influence that nations have on perception and evolution. I apologize. I wish that this video can transcend this in terms of its length, but I'm so weak. So please contact me if you have questions. I can consult with you live stream, even for free. I have a Patreon account. I have videos there where I'm putting it out there. Please watch all the videos. Listen to my undertone, the underlying context. This knowledge is not documented in any books. It's knowledge innate to my own evolution, and I've gone through a lot. This knowledge arrived insight from above in stages after each level of extreme suffering. Suffering in good light, not in a negative. People like to label suffering negative. No, where it's translatable into things of good, it's not negative. And I was given, blessed with certain gifts, human virtues, capable of undergoing through this, ordeal and route and the translating of suffering. But translating of suffering comes with grasping suffering. That's something that's missing, and is some of my gifts. Understanding life and humans, that's some of my gifts as well. But that's me. Everyone has theirs. It just needs to be tapped into. Where these things are revealed and the world can have knowledge that is whole, that is balanced, tangible for their evolution, and they can evolve right into full-blown human. And each full-blown human is great. There's a rarity in the great men industry today. We fix that rarity, we surpass Google. So please contact me. Any ordeal, whether it's looking for the ever missing piece of your puzzle, you want to evolve a project, you're going through an ordeal with your family relationship, I have knowledge, special insight from above. This is not written anywhere. And I'll dig up myself and break down on your behalf. I'll bear your consequences. I'll forgive you 100 times. I have done time. I have done time. Permit me for not looking at the screen. My eyes are in so much pain and all that. I've not slept in years. I've lost all ability to sleep. So looking at the screen just exacerbates or exasperates. I don't know what the English. Maybe exas my pain level. All the pain sits in my eyes and my eyeball expands. Anyway, losing the ability to relax. That just makes you walking dead, talking dead. You cannot enjoy any human activity. You'll be on speed without an outlet. I have no outlet because I'm not about those. I don't see discomfort as something to run away in pursuit of happiness. So I created a form of content that's very simple, very, very, very simple. It's called ULEX. This is one means to lay bare legitimate literacy for the sake of the world. ULOG is a form of content. It's not a blog, it's not a vlog. It doesn't have the limitations of a blog or a vlog. You don't need a fancy camera, you don't need to be illiterate. The U in ULOG stands for you. Now, it incites you to consciously mind of your human using the art of content creation and content curation. Words still rule the world, but today words are not carrying our essence. Words are almost 80% of our brain of today is Google. Oh, what is a blockchain? Next thing is Google. So ULOGs is a form of content that incites you to create content fresh at every instance without researching from the internet, covering every niche or industry, covering every form of media, but created fresh at every instance, made up entirely of excerpts of you without researching from the internet. In the long run, we'll create a new internet filled with humans. But will have its place in society, money will have its place in society, but humans will be restored value, each human attaining full-blown humanhood, each human great. This way we can fix the rarity in the great men industry. I have other enterprises, the other one is Team Gigs. It's a freelancing marketplace, but it's more of a dream building marketplace that allows for experts and non-experts, literates and non-literates. If you want to put the labels out there, to participate in the act or art of dream building. So on those platforms, money has becomes the smaller things because you can now exchange service for service. Where you're not an expert, you can hone your expertise, offering a service in the process for free to the knowledge of your clients. Very powerful stuff. And it has a database that will seek to evolve and explore and invite anyone, regardless of your levels of literacy, to attempt dream building, either to create a custom task request to build your dream or to look for dream builders, people who will build your dreams even for free, even for the sole sake of being part of historical history as part of the process of building your dreams, and where you can also offer your service whether you're an expert or non-expert for the sake of enabling someone to build their dreams. That's teamgigs.org. Let me just show you on the screen. I'm very broke, so my websites are down. You can support me, I have an entire read that explains all this in the comments. But my first startup is this. Let me show you on the screen. I apologize for being so weak. ulogs.org. It's currently down because I got very broken. I have not paid the server. Very painful, but I'm pushing again, ulogs.org for ulogs. But there's already a social interface there with a community, but it's currently down. Same thing with the second platform, the freelancing platform for dream builders. That is called steamgigs.org. steamgigs.org. So that's the second one. And my third interface is called MacroHard. Again, the website is down as well, but that is macrohard.pro. Is to write a programming protocol that will allow anyone to be able to code or program with swag. The notion of developed nations, it affects even the world of programming. It labels people, limits people. People that are in India, for example, they are seen as third world programmers. That is taken into consideration when you want to, pay. They're undervalued or whatever. And the vice versa, the other people, it works both ways. When you label people developing, then develops, and it just adds barriers. A regular person who feels that he's developed cannot avail of the services of an expert in a developed nation. So I want to create a programming protocol that solves this by making use of a microprogramming hierarchy. There are testimonies to this. I have case studies, and I'm not a programmer. I'm a legitimate illiterate. So this is bewildering in itself, but it's possible. Knowledge is very simple. Even the most complexest mathematics, just add English into it, and it becomes not equation. So there's no need to complex things. When you break codes into simple, very tiny codes with a hierarchy that tackles a task prior to an upcoming task and write the algorithms to follow this pattern, then you remove barriers to entry from programming, even in terms of programming protocol or language. Someone who can code in Python will suddenly be able to code a task that is so expected to be delivered in React or Java, So besides that, I have an entire school that everyone can school in. It's called Legitimate Illiteracy. I intend to create a hub, an entire hub where I can effect these things, containing a school for legitimate illiteracy, but I've not been able to do so, because of my health. I don't have all those strength anymore. So I've been able to buy computers, a camera, essential for the hub, but all that I'm waiting for is rentals for the hub. So if you want to support that, you can. I have a Patreon that you can support. I'll build a hub starting in the Philippines, close to my house, so that I can cater to my dad. Recovering my health while my projects, continue evolving. The hub is going to emanate only down-to-earth interfaces. So we can make better use, more testimonial use for blockchain instead of recycling every existing tech. Having the same dynamics on blockchain in a bit to distribute rewards. Let's use blockchain to more effect. Let's emanate new types of innovation, down-to-earth innovation that uses an entirely different dynamics. The dynamics that I created is called proof of tiers. You can create yours too. The model behind proof of tiers is one that incites humans to mind their human. So mind human virtues, where people are rewarded for past deeds. Things like mentality, things like spirit, things like forgiveness, like self-sacrifice. These things are rewarded with a digital currency called proof of tiers. The essence is to fix the tiers with the tiers, applying the first simplest obvious solution. That means that where you have an oracle, the oracle should allow room for flaws. It doesn't have to be a perfect oracle, so that the oracle can forgive. Where there is no flaws, then there is no essence to forgive. So it makes use of a gray list instead of a black or white list. And the teardrops ecosystem has a colorless paper, neither black or white. The dynamics allows room for anyone. It has an untalented paradigm, or you can call it an undis-talented paradigm. Und, then this in the middle to strike the untalented, just to build on context, telling you that there is beauty even in untalented, but overall everyone has something to offer. The people who attempt to out of the boxness, even in the face of persistent no, can have matters swayed and translated into a yes. So these aspects of humans should be celebrated. Nonsense can be sifted up to find sense therein. This is the dynamics guarding my own blockchain technology. I intend to create an entire internet that will cater to each human and a game that will be played by everyone. Putting blockchain to more testimonial use, more directional use towards the evolution of humans and towards world adjustment. Overall, redirecting people to the Creator Jehovah. Two ways of redirecting people to the Creator. Of course, there's preaching, the Bible, reading the Bible, but there's also creation. But one undervalued creation in today's world is humans. We now value the chihuahuas and the cats and the puppies. Someone will see a dog, wanting to, excavate the bones of someone, and the next is to gain clout, world star, get a video, maybe care about the dog's livelihood when the dog has its teeth dented into the bones of another person, or maybe the neck, and you'll be, where things are just getting in reverse, and it's scary where the world is headed, really. So we have to play our role now. So I'm here, I've grinded, and I'll continue to grind, so you can support me, and that will be valuable, inspirational. Share this video, and yes. So please, let's talk. I'm your true fan. If you're undertaking anything that has to do with entrepreneurship, business model, project model, I'm just your true fan. It's admirable on its own. People are sitting, wanting to climb a career ladder, playing pawn in another person's dream for eternity. Only few people can undertake the route of entrepreneurship, caring about the situation of the world and wanting to bring about a solution. Whether you're trying to create a business venture overall, matters less. It still adds beauty, gives you an edge. So please contact me. I'll just supply you with legitimate literacy knowledge to complement your journey. And overall, knowledge is power. There is no loss. You'll gain insights, valuable insights that is not documented. Gosh, I'll have to stop this video here. I apologize for this. All my projects, I have a link underneath that you can read. It's a Patreon link. There's an entire write-up there explaining all my projects. They are blockchain related, built on the Steam blockchain. Please go through. And if you're into blockchain, let's discuss. Let's see how we can put blockchain to more testimonial good use. and so that it enters the rank of great and becomes an indispensable technology, attains mainstreamity. Why is blockchain not attaining mainstreamity? Why is it frowned upon? It shouldn't. That is evidence that blockchain needs evolution. It needs to become relatable on a human and even spiritual level, besides being just a tech. People need to follow blockchain because they want to follow you. Not because they want to make money, not because blockchain manages to rendezvous you, and humans have that much value. How powerful blockchain is? A place that rendezvous humans, and humans are to an extent beings and constitute of spirit and powerful stuff, prayers, everything go on around on that blockchain rendezvous. Why aren't these things mineable or value? Very powerful stuff. On blockchain right there is where I gained utmost insight into the true state of the world. And I can tell you how Obama will react to a particular stimuli. You just create the stimuli, or tell me, or I create the stimuli, and I'll tell you how Obama will react. Some of this knowledge was derived from paying attention to humans down to their very elements right there on blockchain. You know, Overall, the Google, Facebook, and superpowers of the world by today's standards, they do just exactly that. Mind humans. Where you can take control of that mind, your mind. Money itself will begin to seek you. It will like your frequency. It will want to be hosted by you because you've evolved past it. Instead of you seeking money, money will seek you out, want to be hosted by you. You have to look at money, it loses its gaze. And then it comes to Papa. When something is a factor, then whoever is controlling your buttons will keep using it against you. But when it no longer is a factor, you're not swayed by it, and it loses its hold. Even if it presses your button using that particular thing, it will not sway you, it will not move you. So overall, let's keep evolving. There's room for evolution. Let's try to tap into our own innate knowledge as well. Let's tap into that shine and begin to influence the world with your own beauty. We're reaching a world where there are entire nations where people have the same writings. Gosh, is it that influential? I'm sorry. When I was young, they will used to scold you just to have good writing, and with all the scolding, you just can't change the writing. Genes are supposed to be stubborn, unique. Genes are becoming like non-genes right now. Everybody's reaction. Oh, what WTF? Where we are fully evolved, humans can go an entire lifetime without ever saying the word, without even reading from books, just an identity thing. It doesn't vibe well with the word and never says it. Humans are supposed to have their own mannerisms. When you're so predictable, then who are you? If it's known that every 12 a.m., a particular nation, there are two TV reality shows holding a particular nation to ransom at a particular time every day. Two. And that those two reality TV shows is also putting the nation in divide. Some people are this type of people, and some people are this type of people, and that you come to that nation 12 p.m. every day, you will see the entire nation glued to their TV, controlled by that TV. Then who are we? When did we become like that, so identical? We're made to have in subjection the fish of the sea, the flying creatures of it. Humans are evolving. Humans, a coconut, a gorilla will not start using its teeth, even if the teeth has bite force of 90 kilograms, to start breaking coconuts, or put the coconut in its butt and apply its pelvic muscles to break it. It's becoming inventive. Maybe they will look for a stone at the very least. And if it wants to go from Philippines to Jamaica, it will likely tie 1 million ropes and then connect it to a Nimrod building so I can swing. when we do it, we become so identical. It's time, that the paradigms in the world is shifting. It's returning back down to it. Technology is attaining a cap limit. This is just simple truth. And after blockchain technology, AI, after AI attempts at human robots, that's already in the making. Then attempts at human clones, then what? That's the cap. Then there's no choice. You'll have to return back down to earth. You'll have to start returning value back down to earth. So this is us right now, staying in the down to earth, trying to lay the groundwork so that when people come, they have it comfortable. Because yes, humans is losing value, but it becomes tiresome over time. Even if you created a robot that can pluck a star and you stay on a parapet somewhere to watch your creation, over time it becomes tiresome. Humans we are imperfect humans overall. We have not attained perfection. It was original intention that we were perfect, but we lost out on that. We're imperfect humans. So you can't tell me that, oh, it's so enjoyable, then you go and drink one bucket of ice cream or one swimming pool of ice cream. Your stomach will tear. And what is it? Is it sex? What is the unshallow thing there? How is it not tiresome? Or so sometimes for that table, we can shove the food aside and try starvation or try evolution. There's more testimonial use for the table, not bread alone. Jesus fasted for 40 days and 40 nights. On the 41st day, he still neglected bread. Greatness is in your substance. It's the unshakableness of your substance. That you sway matters. And where you are about your impulse, reactionary to every stimuli to satisfy an impulse. And who are you? So I hope that if you see this, you can ponder. This is not meant to lambast anyone. It's just meant to open our mind's eye. So that we can enter into more spanlessness. It's to appeal to the soft spot of our our human virtues that are pertinent for a better world. Our forgiveness, where we're having so much tension over really nothing. Irony is permeating and controlling the world. People, what is there that is unforgivable? When you have done time, many things become forgivable. You have to become judges on matter and create entire blockchain that become judges. Then what was the essence of blockchain on its own? Where you want to create a blockchain and bring about governance all over again on the blockchain because you're curbing on reward distribution, then what is the potential of blockchain there as something different from mainstream technology? That's what happens on mainstream technology. The likes of Facebook is decentralized. Accountability, control of accountability, distribution, everything lies in the hands of a few. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. Of course, it's admirable. They created something that brings about comfort for the world. But what's the essence of blockchain if you have to come and replay Facebook all over again, just with the added feature of distributing rewards? And blockchain loses its value, its potency is limited. Blockchain plays a more powerful role as a mentality adjuster than as a reward distributor. So if you're seeing this, Justin's son, there are so many people I admire. Ned, Dan, Larry, and Ma, who just created Voice. Justin's son who just bought Steemit. And I'd like to I'd like to discuss with you overall a casual conversation where I just ask questions, admire you, inspire you, and all that. And where you are open to listening to my perception related to legitimate illiteracy for the sake of the evolution of blockchain, I'd like to discuss that as well. I'm not technically inclined, that much, but the legitimate illiteracy applies across the board. It doesn't matter what niche or industry, there's a legitimate literacy aspect to it. It's undocumented knowledge that's necessary. So I want to stop this video at 1 hour. I'll share this video to as many people as possible. It doesn't have clear visuals, but please bear with me. so much external noises as well. Please bear with me. Please read my publication underneath. Please leave me an email. My email is on the screen. Uh, yes, so please do these things, and that will be so valuable. Let me just show the read, if in case you want to read, sorry, in case you want to read my publication, let me see if I can paste the link. Sorry, just a moment. I apologize for this. Let me see, it's more than 1 hour, but please bear with me. So I have an entire read here. It's almost a 70-minute read or so. Let me just show that on the screen. Yes, so it's a Patreon, but I just use it as a publication platform so that I can reach, a wide spectrum of audience. And on there, I have videos as well covering the curriculum of legitimate literacy. I have a different channel that I use just for Patreon, to where I load with videos. So those are some of the things there. You can read all my startups are explained there. The dynamics, the paradigms surrounding these startups are there, and you can say hello to me as well. My email I've shown earlier is underneath in the description to inspire me and all that. This will be of value. I'm your boy Terry. Make sure to stay awesome.